Hey everyone, it's Michelle here with another card making tutorial. Today I pulled out this stamp set from Mama Elephant that's called Tiny Heroes, and I just really love this stamp set. I think it's so cute, and I've pretty much used all of these stamps already on various cards because I love them so much. So you can see in the back of my stamp set here, I just have a bunch of die cuts, which I just go ahead and cut them all out of white cardstock when I get my stamp set so that when I'm ready to use one of these stamps and color them in, I don't have to go and cut them out each time. So I'm just pulling out one of the little cartoon people here, and I'm going to be stamping this in My Favorite Things hybrid ink because I'm going to be doing Copic Coloring afterwards, and this is an ink that won't bleed. So I just pulled out my Copic markers here. I know I've said this in previous videos, but I really don't have a lot of markers. Basically what you see here is everything I have, and I really love this stamp set because even with my limited color palette, all you really need are some skin tones and then the primary colors, because since this is like a superhero themed set, usually all of these costumes are like red and blue and yellow, so this just works out really perfectly. So I'm just doing some simple Copic coloring, putting down some lighter colors and then shading with the darker shade and blending it back in with the lighter color again. And my favorite part to do is really the hair, so you'll just see how I color this in quickly, and I love doing the little brush strokes that make the hair really look realistic even though this is a cartoon image. So these are great images to practice your coloring skills if you're like me and haven't really been coloring with these markers for that long. So there is the image all colored out, and I'm going to go ahead and put together the rest of the card. So I'm pulling out some plain white cardstock, and I'm just cutting it down to be 4 by 5¼ inches so that it's slightly smaller than the front of a standard size card. And I'm going to be doing some inking here. So I just pulled out some distress ink in various shades of blues and purples because I think these would be good colors for a sky for my little superhero to be flying in front of. So I'm starting off with Salty Ocean and just inking around the middle here. And then I'm going to switch my pad to my purple shade color, and I'm inking that up with Seedless Preserves. And I really like this purple color. It's like a deep purple color that it looks really nice when you add water to it, but here I won't be doing that. And then the top color I used was Shaded Lilac, which is more of like a lighter blue-purple color. And then I pulled out all of these cloud shapes that I had them all pre-cut on my Silhouette Cameo, and I kind of just keep them in a little bowl to use on projects. I think clouds are a good neutral shape to use, especially for this one where she's kind of like flying in a sky scene. So I pulled out one of the sentiments from the stamp set that says, "You're my favorite superhero," and I'm just inking that up with the same My Favorite Things ink pad since I have that handy. And I'm also pulling out all of the little stars in the stamp set. I like these two little ones that kind of look like they're coming out of her feet because she's like flying in the air and shooting off. And then I have all of these little small star stamps that I'm just scattering around the sentiment. And I'm adhering all of the bottom cloud shapes down just because they kept moving around. And then the top layers of clouds I'm going to pop up on foam adhesive later. Then I went ahead and colored in those little stars that I'd stamped earlier. I just used a yellow Copic marker and stamped right on top of the inked background, and it still showed up okay, so I thought that worked out well. I also pulled out these glitter markers from Martha Stewart's, which I love to just add little accents of glitter, and I'm using the goldish yellow color to color on top of the yellow coloring I did, just to make it a little more vibrant and a little sparkly. So now I've pulled out my foam adhesive so I can go ahead and adhere all of the clouds that aren't already adhered down flat to the card, and I'm also putting them down behind this little superhero girl as well. And then I can go ahead and stick those onto the card. And then I'm going to pull out this dark blue cardstock. I kind of wanted to just create a little background for this panel just to create some contrast because I felt like it needed a darker color to kind of ground it. So I turned my front panel around and trimmed off all of the clouds that were hanging off so then I can tape this down to this blue cardstock piece. And once that's glued down centered to that blue piece, I can go ahead and adhere the whole thing to a top folding card base. So there's the card all finished. Here are some close-ups. As I said, I really like this stamp set, and I've created a whole set of these cards actually, just because I love them so much. And the images are super fun to color, so I would say check them out if you're looking for a fun new stamp set that's really cute. You can see all the dimension on the card that I've created with this foam adhesive here. So thank you for watching my video today. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more crafting tutorials like this. You can find all the information about the supplies I use listed at my blog, which you can head over to here. And you can also find me on Instagram and Pinterest. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.